All right, here we go again. So again, you can see the embankment we're up. You can see all the rock fill that's been dropped in here, right? So again, likely coming from these rock cuts, right? So we just passed that one and we got another one coming up here. So again, skirting along the western side of this ridge, curving to the right, curving to the east here, right? Just kind of looping around this. And again, kind of interesting, our height above the Canadian Pacific line. And you're going to see that when we get to a spot and we'll be able to look down on the Canadian Pacific line. And again, we're going to the same destination. We're both going to Raith. Our height right now, GPS is telling me 1491. We started at like 1440 or something like that. And so we're continuing to climb. Here you could see the height of the rock cut on this side. Again, I don't know how much they would have taken out. But here, up there, you got to be 20 feet at least. Over here, we're probably in the 12-foot range. So maybe they didn't take all of this off, but probably a considerable amount of it. And again, it continues over here. You can see all of the trees, the jack pines and stuff growing up, you know, in front of and amongst the rock cut. So again, you could just see the height. So again, just an extensive amount of work that they had to do to build this. Right, so we passed through a rock cut. We're going through one. We're going to curve. We're going to go through some more rock cuts. Again, so just a crazy amount of work on this line. And again, remember, yeah, they're using some power drills and things like that, but there's a lot of muscle power, right? That's going into the construction of these, right? Still not a ton of mechanization. And so we can see we continue to curve here, and the rock work kind of continues a little bit. So you can see kind of a little bit of low rock work here on the side. So the Canadian Pacific line is down there, right? Again, you could see the height, right? They just carved the whole side of this ridge out. I don't know how far down that is. It's got to be 60, 70 feet down there. It's a ways, right? It's a ways down there. And again, you can see all the rock fill that's been dumped in. So just a crazy amount of work. So here the rock work kind of picks up again. So here we're probably in that about 6-foot range, and then here it gets bigger, right? So we're probably 12 feet here or so. Oh, did we miss another train? Oh, for Christ's sake. And the spot is just up there. Man. So again, you can see the height of the rock work here. Just a crazy amount of trains here. I actually considered when we were back at Horn of just sort of bolting ahead, because I was trying to catch the train that we saw in the first place. That one was good because this one would have been an eastbound, and we would have seen the train kind of coming right at us. Old shotgun shells, look like 20 gauge. And so here the rock work comes to an end, and then it's going to pick up just ahead. So I'm going to zip you over there. Man, that's too bad. Would have been nice to see that train. Adds a little to the video, I guess. Oh, partridge. All right, so here the rock work picks up again. Where that partridge went. So basically here you can see it's fairly low. Got a little accompaniment here. Yeah, this is the spot right here where you can see the trains. And so basically here it picks up a bit. So we're probably in about the 10-foot range. And again, we're just right on there. They're just blasting out sort of the nose of this ridge. So you can see there's a little bit left here. and then continues on here again, probably in that about 10-foot range, and then just keeps continuing on here. And so again, you could see the Canadian Pacific Kansas City line just below us, so way down there. And again, we're both going to Raith, so it's interesting if they just keep climbing and we kind of level out a little bit. 1495 is our elevation. Any drill marks? Yep, you can see a couple drill marks here. There's one there, there's one there. Usually Sundays are quiet on the Canadian Pacific line, but maybe because it's October and we got a lot of traffic they need to move. Basically there's a lot of stuff going on, so you get a really good view here, right, of the Canadian Pacific tracks. So you can see them there and there, and there's this kind of this great shot here. So if we would have been here, you would have seen that train kind of, you can actually see the incline of the tracks as they're going up, because they're going to climb to go towards Raith. So you would have seen that train coming downhill. So if we would have been just a couple minutes earlier, you can see all the ties down here. You see all the rock fill that's been dumped in here. Again, we're pretty high, so we've got to be a good 50-60 feet above the valley level down there. So maybe we'll camp out here for a few minutes and see if there's a train coming, and if not, I'll show you that footage that we shot this morning of the train that we happened to catch. So on the Canadian Pacific Kansas City, they can directionally run because there's a double track just to from Thunder Bay just past Raith. Shh, Luna. So we got another train coming, another westbound. This is a crazy amount of traffic here. Give you a zoomed in view here with my phone. So we got intermodal. This is a fantastic spot to be able to take pictures. And I'm pretty sure there's a railway photographer, I think John Rice. He has some pictures that he's taken in this spot. Basically, I think he's gone down and caught the train kind of coming around the bend. Very common, lots of intermodal. Let's see if there's maybe a middle engine. Yeah, I can hear one coming. Oh, it's a Kansas City Southern. Okay, so we could sit here and dwell forever, but we're here to look at the dead railway line, not the live one. So we're gonna resume our journey and continue working our way to the west. Okay, let's resume here. Again, just crazy busy on the Canadian Pacific line today. Again, usually Sundays it's pretty quiet, but a lot more action today. All right, so we talked a little bit about the incline on the Canadian Pacific line. You can see our incline here. We're going to continue to climb think we level out a little bit. I can't remember the elevation of Raith. I think it's around 1500 something. So we're going to be coming up to yet another rock cut. Again, there's a bunch in a row here. Some pretty big ones coming up. Oy. We are definitely climbing, as I can feel it in my legs. So into the first of a couple of rock cuts here. So it starts off low here and then very quickly gets big. So here, probably in the 12-foot range. And then here you can see how it gets much higher. I don't know, again, how much they would have taken off of here. So how much is just the native rock and how much was blasted out. You can see here on the south side that up there at least it's got to be 15 feet, right? So you can imagine they would have probably had to, you can imagine this sort of coming across like this. So that's probably about 20 feet there. So at least a good chunk of this rock work had to come out. And you can see here it continues on. Again, so just massive, massive amounts of rock work. We kind of pan back a little bit. You can see Loon in the trailer. Hi, Loon. And then there's going to be a little break, and then there's more. So here it kind of peters out a little bit. You get this little flat spot, lots of jack pines. Kind of a very unusual kind of flat area in here. It's kind of interesting. So here it starts to kind of turn into a little bit of a cut. And then you can see the massive, this is probably the biggest rock cut in the area here. It's quite large. And again, maybe I'll flash up that map again so you can kind of see what we're doing here as we're sort of skirting around this ridge. All right, so here we go with the rock work again. Now, as I've said already, I don't know how much they would have taken off of here, but you can see that there's a considerable amount of rock in this spot here. So down here, it's pretty low, but again, I don't know what this would have looked like if this was continuous here, or they found maybe a little valley. But if they didn't, they took a heck of a lot of rock out of here, because up there, gotta be 30 feet. Maybe more, right? Same thing on this side here, right? So considerable amount of rock. I don't know if we can see any drill marks or anything, but again, you can see up here, very large. Again, pushing that 30 feet. And then you can see over here, a little bit more obscured on the east side here with the vegetation. Hard to watch the rock cut and trying to drive straight. So again, here you can see that this definitely came out, because you can imagine these two pieces kind of linking up together, and so that's got to be easily over 15 feet, if not more. Kind of interesting too, you see how this is all kind of overhanging and how it was kind of left like that. Again, here this probably would have been taken out. There we got to be pushing close to 20, and same thing here. Okay, so we basically go from this rock cut, which is starting to peter out, and then our next feature is just right up here. So what we're going to do is we'll hold up here momentarily, and then we'll continue on.